we go. So way back in time, I suppose must be about 30, just over 30 years ago now. I was hired by a company called FiberQuest International, which was based in Fort Lauderdale in Florida. And we started to work with two sportsmen there. One was the Tampa Bay Bandits and the other was the Miami Dolphins. And two of their ex-players who'd retired through injury and basically lost their income and lost their, their celebrity status, if you like. The newspapers weren't writing about them anymore, and one was suffering with depression, the other one was hitting the bottle a bit hard. But through the contacts we had, we explained to them that we can bring them back into the limelight again. And this was a nutrition product. It was based around fiber. It's a meal replacement around fiber.
Okay.
But it was a network marketing company. That was it. So we said, we will put the promotion behind you. We'll get you on the product. We'll get your story of how it's affected your health, and we'll bring back your fan base for you. Okay. And not only that, but these fans, they want to, this is the days before the selfies, but they wanted to be close to their hero, right? They didn't care he'd retired. They remember him like Babe Ruth, they remember him for what he did. And so we actually got these people were eager to join the business in this guy's downline because he was famous, right? And they could tell their friends that they were a business associate of their hero, right? Mm-hmm. And it worked really, really well because the meeting rooms were packed. People, they wanted to come and hear the stories about this guy when he was famous, and he had his PowerPoint presentation with the photographs of when he was playing, and all of his story. It was only storytelling. That was the whole thing. Yeah. And the rooms grew, and people were bringing 2 people every week after that, and the meetings just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and the guys' checks rose, right? So I mean, we can do that with Mark. And I don't know what his status is now, if he's teaching or if he's competing or what he's doing, but we need to have that conversation with him because we can give him a high profile. We can bring his sports fan base. We can bring his peer group, his colleagues that he was playing with at the time, and actually have a whole sort of professional team there. Now, what it requires from your point of view is you need to invest in some product as a freebie for him to get him on board. But it's kind of small potatoes in a way. If you're investing $200 or $300 a month for a 90-day period, while we build with him, that's a great investment in my book.
I think one of the things we talk about too is that when it comes to professional athletes, for example, and little change from the topic, but if you can get professional athletes on Immunical products, and we extend their career by 2-3 years, whatever the case may be, for the investment in product. And if you're making 5, 10, 20, 30 million a year, that extra 2-3 years certainly is a good investment in extending your income.
You mean from a corporate position?
Even from an athlete, just a single.
Well, we have it already in a way with Oreco, who they do that with 3 of the Premiership football teams in the UK: Chelsea Football Club, Nottingham Forest, and Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur. Okay. They give the product to their players, but we're not allowed to know who.
Talk about it.
We can talk about it, but we can talk about the teams take it, but we can't actually mention any specific players because that's contractually they have all kinds of sponsorship deals going for millions, they're protected by that, which is why, going back to my story, is why we were dealing with retired athletes, because they're out of contract. and they don't have these business managers that are saying, well, if you put your name to that, we want $1 million a year.
Okay. Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're out of contract.
Yeah.
And they've lost those big incomes often, and they're desperate to find a way back to have the notoriety. And you can say, well, over the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to put that situation back together for you. You know, I've seen it happen time again. We had a guy over here. His name was Mark. I can't think of his surname at the minute. He was an Olympic cyclist.
Okay.
And his story was even stranger, because he was a regular businessman, not a sportsman at all, and he was paragliding. You know, it's like a parachute that they were, and he was paragliding one day on a ridge, and the wind changed, and it flipped him over, and he fell 40 feet and hit the ground, broke his back. Okay, he was 6 months in traction and metal pins in his back. And then through his process of physiotherapy, they actually taped his feet to an indoor bicycle, exercise bicycle. And he started to gain control and get his legs back working again. Anyway, cut a long story short, he took up cycling.
Okay.
He joined a Welsh cycling team, and after a few months, they said, "You're so good, you should consider entering the Olympics."
Woo.
Well, not only did he enter the Olympics in 2012, but he won. In the morning rehearsal, he broke the world record, gold record, and in the afternoon, he broke his own record he just broken that morning.
Wow.
I can't think of his surname, but it will come to me. His name is Mark somebody, and he's a cyclist. So again, he got involved in another network marketing company called Isogenics.
Okay.
In the UK. He's still there now. And they built a huge team around him, because people want to come and hear that story. I mean, if he can overcome that, just imagine how many people you could bring to a meeting.
Yeah. And I think, again, just through the name to start with, there is the Canoe Kayak Canada, and again, they're Olympic athletes. I met when we had the Pan Am Games in Canada. Again, Mark was a silver in canoeing in the Pan Ams, 2015, I think it was. I met, just through the name, the president of the 2015 Pan Am. And all it was, I sent him an email saying, "Hey, your team's doing great." And he actually answered it. And I go, "Whoa, what's this?"
That's right.
And answered it the next morning. I know it was the opening ceremonies. And I happened to guess his email address, sent him a note. And because of the name, he came back, "Oh, thank you, Tom. It was just super. And the team's doing a fantastic job," and the rest of it. And I had him scheduled at one stage to come up and speak about his experiences. And I've often thought that type of thing for a leadership event, attracting again, consultants.
Well, you just got to build under these guys. That's it. They will bring the people for you. All we've got to do, and it's much easier now, Tom, than it ever was, because of the social media and these Zoom calls. We can, he can do video presentations. We can put him right back there. Any sportsman, basically. You've just got to find them, the ones that understand that the residual income is going to take a couple of years to build, but then they'll be on the similar incomes they were on prior to that. And it really does work fast, because they've got literally tens of thousands of fans that we can wake up again with social media. We can target those people and say, "Did you know this guy's back in town, right? And he's got a new message for you. Come and meet him."
let me see what I can do in getting these guys together, and maybe what we'll do is set up a Zoom call at some stage and go through it all.
Definitely. I'd love to have an opportunity to speak to him and explain on your behalf. You know, it's a better way. You know, you can say that you've got the guy that's sort of looking after part of Europe, and he's got an idea to share. You know.
Yeah. I see others on the call. Jeffrey's on the call.
Yeah, Dr. Jeffrey, nice to see you, and Mike, good, and Ron. Ron and I were talking a little earlier, actually, and these are, this is sort of a method of leveraging whole teams into the business.
Yeah.
You know, some people go and recruit network marketing leaders from other companies, but I think the retired sportsmen that have never had that experience before, but appreciate that they've got a huge fan base that can be reactivated. That's powerful, really powerful.
And even in the Barrie area, we've got I know several companies, they work with sports teams. Certainly one is the Barrie Colts, which is the hockey team. Secondly, we've got a group, it's a sports medicine organization, and they work with teams based on training and the rest of it. I was to one of their seminars on concussion, and I really a combination of things including COVID, but I haven't got back to them. I keep feeding them information, but again, even groups like that,
well, that reminds
their contacts is
that reminds me of another process, right? So you say hockey team, did you say?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So what we need is a retired hockey player.
Yeah.
Okay, that had some notoriety.
Yeah.
And we say what we're going to do is we're going to put you back in the spotlight, but also you're going to be mentoring young hockey players. Okay, so you then bring that team into the frame and say, do you remember this guy? Right, we're going to get him to work with your youngsters in the junior league, and what we're going to do is create a foundation for the hockey team. So that will be a position in the network marketing plan.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Everybody that's of the kids' parents and friends and family. I've got young Johnny here who wants to become a champion, but the family have got to fund that of his training with a pro. They've got to fund his going to regional meetings and games. So what we do is we create this foundation. Everybody's working, selling products, getting new people into the business, because part of that funding is going to go and help Johnny to get his scholarship.
Right, right.
And we use the mentor of the ex-player to bring all that together. I've got a whole presentation on PowerPoint I can show you.
Oh, okay.
And it works very well. The only part that you need to be doing is funding the 90 days initial product.
Yeah.
We always do it for 90 days because everybody gets a result in that period, as you know.
Yeah, yeah. And certainly, you know, again, when I look at Mark's journey, although, well, he's I think he's still paddling, but through his journey, he ended up with shoulder problems that he had to fight through, and a series of other athletic injuries that he had to fight through. So I'm sure even his afterlife in terms of sports, and I think he's still involved in coaching, make a big difference. And you know, when you, and I'm not bragging, but when you look at the Oldershaw family, my uncle Bert had 3 boys, 2 daughters, and they were all Olympians in canoeing. They actually had set up their house, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, so that they could paddle year-round and train year-round in the pool canoeing. They had it set up when it came to just boards and apparatus that you could use to simulate the canoeing process. They went from there. And the other thing that I do have contact with in UC, as an example, is professional referees.
Right.
Mike, Ron Hogarth is a professional, was a professional referee in the NHL. And Ron, when he walks today, you can, he's obviously, his knees have been finished, but you see him, he's refereed the odd super event, and you see him out there skating. I said to him, Ron, how come you can't walk, but you can, when you put a pair of skates on, you keep up with the professionals.
Different thing.
That skating's totally different.
That's right. I've found this guy. I want to share the screen with you briefly, Tom. This is the man I was trying to scramble for word. His name's Mark Colburn. If you look him up, you'll read his story. So he's Welsh Paralympic gold medalist, but he was never a sportsman. If he hadn't have broken his back paragliding, he would have never become an Olympic champion. It's ironic, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, sometimes the journey or the path, right, to
very strange
championships.
But and everybody on the call, like Mike and Jeffrey, check this guy out. I was explaining this situation. We've got to think of retired or sportsmen that have got injury or have retired for whatever reason, even age. It doesn't really matter. The point is, you can give them notoriety. In Mark Colburn doesn't know anything about network marketing at all, right? But all he used to do was to come on stage with a PowerPoint presentation and tell his story. And at the end of the day, people said, if he can do it, just imagine if you could bring two people along, that would be easy, wouldn't it? Without breaking your back.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was it. That was the message. If he can overcome that life-changing experience, what can you do? And that was the motivation that got people to really work. All these contacts you're talking about, Tom, are gold. They're gold mines because they're so well connected. And they will pull people out the hat that you won't even think about right now, I'm sure, because of their connections.
Yeah, that's why I feel confident. Some people think I'm out of my mind, but my goal is I want to be able to donate $1 million by 2026. And I forget whether I mentioned it. I have the Oldershaw Making the Difference Endowment Fund. And the purpose is to help support the organizations that look after homelessness. I sat on the board of an organization, the Busby Center, that look after homelessness. I have an opportunity at the moment for an organization too that's looking and helping in the area of homelessness. And when it comes to donating $1 million, the interest off the $1 million or whatever it has to be can help fund them. And they don't have to spend so much time in finding funds. They know that they've got funding coming every year, and they can focus on what they do best, is looking after the homeless.
You've really got to get all these people on board with this idea, because that's the foundation, that the motivation that some people need, a mission. If they've got a mission to save or help, they'll work that much harder.
And that's again, the ride. I usually publicize the ride, certainly in local newspapers. I've had television coverage as well. And
what did the TV company cover? Tell me the story of that.
Oh, just my ride that at I think there's a 75-year-old guy was riding, well, 450 kilometers in 2 days to raise or make people aware of the Busby Center, homelessness in the community. And also, actually, for the work that I did, I was granted a Queen's Diamond Jubilee medal as well. And top, what was it? Top volunteer within the community, an award. It was, the Spirit Catcher Award, which again was the top volunteer in Barrie. So yeah, it was
I can see a way to pull all this together for you, really.
Okay. Well,
definitely. Yeah, because you're hiding your light under a bushel, sir. You
Yeah.
know, you really are. I mean, that what you've just explained is very, very strong to promote and attract people, key people into your organization and get them on board with your mission
Yeah.
of helping the homeless.
Yeah.
So you need some celebrity people,
Yeah.
and build it around sports, because that's where your passion is.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it be referees or hockey players or cyclists,
whatever.
but
Yeah.
you need people that have had a profile.
Yeah.
Because we're going to
Yeah.
bring social media to the attention of their fans and followers and
Mhm.
get them on board as well. And the product is simply the catalyst that
Yeah.
makes all this happen.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everybody can consume the product. Everybody can find somebody to help them
Yeah.
find customers. And it's all for the reason of helping this greater organization.
Yeah.
And to get your $1 million, how long have we got left? 5 years.
2026.
26. We got
Yeah.
Yeah.
So five.
Yeah, it's achievable in 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
No question about that.
And I guess what happened was, again, because of Mark, we went to a media get together. Again, it was the 2015 Pan Ams. And the minister, what was he? He was either Ontario or Canada, but the Minister of Culture, Recreation and Sports. I said, hey, my name's Tom Oldershaw. Oh, Tom Oldershaw. Hey, whoa, take it easy, man. I'm not the athlete. I'm just the guy with the name. But it was so funny.
Yeah.
He was a real short guy. I said, no, Mark is the key person here, not me. I'm just Oldershaw.
Yeah.
And he went on and, oh, my mother will be really happy. And he was
Yeah. There you go. That's what I'm saying. That's the reaction people have when they get to meet their heroes. You know, we just got to harness that, really, I think.
Yeah. And I've got a gal that teaches skating, and she was she taught skating to the Mexican hockey team. So there's people that are in this circle that I need to talk to.
Well, you see, I mean, it's all coming out now. I can see you're going to have a big downline in Mexico in a minute.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, the Spanish teams are the ones you want to get into, as you know, because that's South America's very vibrant right now, isn't it?
Yeah. And the other thing that occurred is my son went through university on a golf scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
So again, not high profile, but the fact that we're athletes.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I mean, again, it's the connections he's made when he went pro. He'll have some connections, whether it's been his the pros that were working with him and who they know.
Yeah,
and bring it back around to this thing with the homeless project, because everyone can relate to that, Tom. It's not it's not difficult to get your head around.
No,
you know.
I've got presentations that I put together that kind of promote what I'm doing.
Well, I'd like you to share them with me if you wouldn't mind, and I'd like to work on a little project to see if we can just hone that down a little bit and make it more appropriate to
Yep.
you building these
global network.
well, yeah, but doing it with a lot of heart and soul into these people that can help you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I think we need to use any. Did you have a clip of that TV interview? Did you keep that?
I'm not sure if I did or not.
All of this.
There's a ton of newspaper articles.
Yeah, that's good.
I could actually put together that would work as
yeah.
well.
I mean, all of this stuff. I mean, and also, you know, reaching out to once we package this right, go back to the TV company, go back to the radio shows, because they're desperate for more information and news stories, aren't they? And say, look, now we've actually got a project here where we've created this foundation that's going to help this charity actually come together. You know.
And again, part of my volunteer experience has been community relations. So I know the media people, I know the mayor's office I can walk into. Hey, Jeff, this is what I'm doing.
Wow.
So there's stuff like that I have a background in.
This is music to my ears. I can definitely show you how to put this together.
Okay, sounds good.
Because you know, these guys will get back on board if there's a mission there to support something like that.
Yeah.
And the product is perfect because it's going to help them as they're retiring with their aches and pains, and keep them well. And you know, we're doing two things. We're helping youngsters in sport, and we're helping the foundation for the homeless. So it's a win-win all round.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is the Canadian rowing group is on Immunical as well, or certainly Immunitech was a sponsor of the Canadian rowing team. However, they set that up. But again, John Wilson was the key person there.
I think I've got to change my image now. You've told me that. So we've definitely got the Canadian arm strong tonight. I can see.
Yeah.
I'll put the flag up for you.
Well, see, again, London means something too, with the Olympics, right? Both my cousin and my uncle type of thing. London meant something to them. Certainly the bronze medal at 2012 Olympics, again, is key. And then my dad's parents came from London area. Once there was a seaside community with the mayor of the community was an Oldershaw. And obviously, when it comes to the academy and the brewery.
Yeah. we found, I mean, the other guys don't know what we're talking about, but we found the Oldershaw Academy near Liverpool, and we found the brewing family as well, didn't we?
Yep.
So there's some great old roots there for you, Tom. And I think all of it, you know, the other thing is when you're reaching out to the UK, you know, the fact is you're coming in from Canada, it also has a story. You know, there's the people who are interested for that reason. Yeah.
And again, I think with the Oldershaw organizations, and we'll see what happens, but that name attraction, I don't know what for the academy seems to be a big academy. I don't know who or why it was named Oldershaw, the Oldershaw Academy.
Oh, it's in. If you go to their website, I think I sent you the link. The history is there. It does talk about it.
Okay.
The founder, the story is there.
The others, if you want to carry on to a different story, it's Ron and Mike.
No, I think they're fascinated to hear what we're saying, quite frankly.
Okay.
Because I know that this is a very powerful way to build organizations when there's mission related, and when it's sports related. Those two things coming together with a product that is highly consumable, that's a great business. You know,
Yeah.
it works
And
very well. And it's with, you know, it's authentic, it has integrity, everybody can buy into it because of the science is there, the history's there, and they all feel comfortable. They're not dealing with a startup and some, you know, fanciful idea. It's proven solid track record.
and, and I
And the
think
fact
too,
we've got this connection with Oreco,
yeah,
that will also help you leverage
yeah,
the sportsman in.
I think too, MTD is, when it comes to the branding, I have, you know, for example, signs, MTD Ride. A lot of the work we do is MTD, which is making the difference.
Okay.
I actually have pins that are making the difference, pins, lapel pins type of thing as well. So that branding we've worked on for a while is too type of thing.
Okay. Yeah, well, you've got all the elements there, haven't you? Really?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a question of reaching out, you know, and getting people to come on a call where we can present this to them with a PowerPoint presentation.
Yep.
Have you done that on a Zoom? Are you comfortable with doing that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't done a presentation since this morning. So.
Oh, really? Great. Well, listen, let's do it because
and yeah, and my career background was robotics. So when it came to presentations, I was doing presentations all the time. I've done 1,200 people to the Galvanized Association, and that was a robotic presentation, and it was the Galvanized Association convention type of thing. Yeah, so
and the cyclist organizations, I think that's another one.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you familiar with how to find those groups on Facebook?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Because they're also well worth having, you know.
Yeah.
Participating in those groups, letting them know what your goal is in terms of your mission here with the homeless project and your NTD branding.
Yeah,
that they can all get on board with that, you know.
Yep. And I there's actually I have the information. There's a couple of organizations, for example, I think it's banks that sponsor Olympic up and coming Olympic athletes. There's a major training program centered around athletic training for Olympians that are still in their journey. Probably have connections there as well.
Definitely, yeah. Well, we've got a lot of digging around to do here.
Yeah,
we ought to schedule a time. You know, maybe early next week we could do a little sort of project work on this together, Tom.
Yeah, let me send you a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation. You can make comments and maybe we can hone it a bit that way. That way. And again, I used certainly used Mark as part of my sports contacts.
Yeah. Are we in a position to talk to him directly about this idea, or is that something?
Yeah, let me see what I can do. I don't talk to him directly, and when I say that, only because he's busy, I've been busy. We see each other, and again, we had probably 7 of us go down to the Pan Am Games, 7 Oldershaws, go down to the Pan Am Games. Granddaughters got to see Mark and talk to Mark. And Adam Vancouverton is another one who is an Olympian gold medalist in kayaking, real high profile. He is actually a politician at this stage, but I've got contacts with him as well, so I can keep going.
I'm fascinated by this. To me, see, is a perfect storm.
Yeah, and even my buddy at the the Pan Am Games, when it came to just the experience of putting the games together and all logistics and that whole process, and especially you got major opening events and the events scheduled throughout the province, and then we were going to have him come up and speak to that at one stage. He may, and maybe as part of an event, do it online, Zoom, maybe. Sure. I don't know.
So what was it actually brought you into? When did it happen, and what was it that brought you into the business, Tom, originally?
Okay. When I've been a customer for 12 years.
Right.
And I think part of it was when I committed $1 million to the Oldershaw Making the Difference Endowment Fund. I said, maybe I should be doing a little more than taking the product.
Right.
And the real key is in the last 6 months, I've gone through some major training. And that training, when it came to mindset, when it came to network marketing, when it came to the whole business package, made me realize that for a small investment, I can earn large dollars. And when you look at it, I'm just saying this, I'm connected to John Saunders. I can ask for help. And when I say that, to put on any program I'll come up with, the John Saunders, Wally Crew, Larry Thompson, I've talked to Larry, and Larry called me actually from Texas. It was John that put me together with him. Jeff
Wiseman. Jeff Wiseman. Yeah.
Jeff.
I know Jeff.
I've talked to Jeff, and again, so I'm surrounded with these key individuals that when it comes to mindset, I can see where everybody is going. I was always on the top of good, if you want it, but always did quality work. But now I see the bigger picture, the bigger dream that I can put together my legacy and go from there.
What was your career, Tom, originally?
Was sales, and I sold, as my last 8 years, I sold robots, as you would see in the automotive industry. So I kicked around the automotive industry as well. But yeah.
It's fascinating that you came to the company quite late then. I mean,
Yeah. And part of it was I just didn't do it. I was certainly aware of product, kicked around, the people, the key people. It was, I was going to do, but it was only in the last 6 months last 6 months actually, that I have gone on trainings that say, hey, Oldershaw, you can do it.
Yeah. And who is the sort of rising stars in your organization at the moment?
When it comes to the rising stars, I'm just starting to put the organization together. Certainly, again, the when it comes to Rebecca, when it comes to Mike, and Mike was supposed to be signing up today. When it comes to, he's got 3 rugby players, I think.
He's in Manchester, isn't he?
Yeah. And so the organization, I'm just starting to pull together. And what has happened? I've always had the contacts. I just haven't done. I take full responsibility.
Well,
But
there's no accidents. I think this is very, very interesting conversation, and I think there's a lot of elements that you've got there that we just need to pull together.
yeah,
Great story, well packaged, and I think we're going to attract some really good people into your business. Some good people too. I mean, I got a sense that you know, that what you're trying to do there is going to be attractive to a lot of people who will want to get on board with this. You know, I really do.
okay.
Let's see what Dr. Jeffrey's got to say about this, because I know you're listening there, Jeffrey. Have you got some experience in your practice with any sports personalities or sporting individuals at all?
Hi everybody. Yeah, I over the years there's been different people. I've had rugby players, professional football players, soccer players, that is, and amateurs, loads of amateur people. And when I got involved with Immunical and knew the benefits for people who were engaged in either being a weekend warrior or a you know, a very serious athlete, I've had some people take up the torch of Immunical, but at that time there wasn't enough of the evidence or backup or conviction and testimonials that really suited the UK market. Because at the UK market, when we're going back around 2007, I think it was 2000, yeah, around that area. No, 2017.
17, yeah.
It was still kind of like trying to break ice with your hand, and there's 5 blocks of ice, and you have to really be really good at your martial arts to break them. And so I think that now that Oracle has come on board, and with the strength of the presentation that we had last August with Oracle, I use that to to show some athletes, and I direct them to that that PowerPoint presentation I actually got, so I send it to them and follow up on that. And there is a lot of volume of information that we have now that we can then give to people, because we know that when you exercise, your reactive oxygen species, that redox potential within the mitochondria, is compromised. And we have to make sure that we bring it back to homeostasis. And that's the whole basis of what the glutathione molecule does. And we know that we've got something that makes glutathione, so we don't have to worry about that. But what we need to look at is show some athletes how the benefit of some of the studies that have been done in the past, where you can gain a measured amount of increased power or increased stamina in your performance. What would be very interesting is to see how much the oxidative load, I don't know any studies out there, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, where there may be some studies with oxidative load on a specific, like if Tom did say, 50 minutes on the bike, and they measured his blood oxidative stress levels pre and post, and find out what kind of things happen afterwards, and then taking something like an Immunical and then finding out what kind of reaction you get from that. That'd be kind of cool. And I don't know who does those type of studies. Maybe John Molson knows the people who are maybe doing that in the sports world. I don't know. It's an untapped area.
Are you familiar with that?
I'm not. I don't know.
I haven't seen that one, Tom, at all. Is that new?
No, it goes back, but it covers just strictly athletics.
Is it a PowerPoint presentation you printed?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I mean, I think it'd be good
if you... old website at all, Tom?
Pardon?
Was that on the old website? I say old, that before
Yeah,
we transition
I don't
line.
know. John ended up, John sent me the presentation. But again, it covers strictly, again, the McGill study.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And some of the other areas that, and it covers off, again, improves your defense, and it goes through all the.
Yeah, so
items
it's
that-
bringing in different aspects of an athlete and how they think.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, frankly, there's so much that I could do in my Immunotech business to go out and talk to people about it. I just don't have the time right at the moment. I'm busy moving house and trying to figure out where I'm putting my clinic. I'm pretty mad right at the moment. But something like this, I know so many people in the UK that I could contact, and I know people in Canada. My uncle's father was Joe Primo of the Kid Line in the NHL in 1933.
Okay. Mm.
And my cousin has worked a lot with the recent things like, is Johnny Bauer still alive, or did he pass on?
When it comes to Johnny, he's pretty old.
Yeah.
I forget whether he passed away, and if he did, he has passed away in, say, the last year or two, type of thing.
Well, my cousin works with a lot of the old veterans of Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh,
And I've been telling her about this product since it's come to Canada, and at first she was super keen on it, and then somehow went off on it, and but now she's being really involved with the NHL's old timers, big time.
Okay.
And so for me, it's just a time to sit down and contact people. I think that's the biggest thing with this process is that, we've got lots of great information, lots of really enthusiastic people, but really you have to have the time to devote to this in order for if you want to make it a business, you have to put time into a business in order for a business to be able to make.
And I think I was saying to Scott, certainly in my case, I've committed $1 million by 2026. So I'm devoting full time to this. Whoa.
Need some water there, mate.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. And the other thing that's happened is the last 6 months, the Zoom-taculars we've put on, the information that's come out of the Zoom-taculars has really worked on me when it comes to talking to people about the product. And I'm not one, I don't have to get into details, but for example, I just talked to a couple of doctors and said, "Are you familiar with glutathione?" And they said, "No."
Yeah,
Scary,
what?
isn't it?
Yeah, I said, "What's your
It's
doctor?"
really worrying, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. I said, "What's your doctor's name? I'll go to him."
Oh,
So I've got 2 doctors that I'm talking to right now. One was really keen on the brain research, and the other was my general practitioner who said, "Glutathione, I think I've heard of that word." Like, what? Anyway, that's the other thing that's happened over the time frame is the Zoom-taculars, listening to the researchers, listening to Oracle people, listening to John Molson. And when you look at really what we've got, the fact that I believe in it so much that, as I said, when it comes to committing the $1 million, it was just a matter of I committed It's now, how am I going to do it? And this is what I'm doing.
Mm. I mean, I think this is great. As I said, I think this between us. I mean, you know, Jeffrey's a fellow Canadian, so you know,
Yeah.
this is a good Canadian call tonight. And I
Yeah.
think you know, we use the resources we've got to share and put something together that's powerful enough to attract these people.
Jeffrey, do you know Ron Hogarth,
No,
who
I
is a
don't.
referee, but he was
Oh,
one
hang
of the,
on. Yeah, in the NHL, yeah.
yeah,
Was he in the 70s or 80s?
he, Ron's retired at the moment, but he's done the Christmas or the New Year's special.
When was he an active referee?
It goes back, I think, maybe five years ago, if not more. And I guess where I'm going is he lives in the Barrie area. So I see him. And I was saying to Scott, when it came to skating, in Ron's case, you can tell when he's walking, his knees are finished, but yet he still has done, maybe in the last couple of years, the special events that the NHL has put on. I said, Ron, how can you skate with knees like you have? He said, skating's a totally different action. And
yeah, he used different muscle groups.
so I've got contact and know Ron fairly
What's
well.
his surname again, Tom?
Ron Hogarth is he was a top referee in the NHL for quite a number of years.
Interesting.
And you live in Barrie, do you?
Yes, I do.
The land of the casino.
Yeah, which have been shut down for a year now plus.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with a network marketing company called Vox Life? VOXX Life. Vox Life.
I've seen them around. Yeah.
Yeah. They're in Toronto. They have footwear. They have like insoles and socks.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Right.
I know. Representative up here. That
because I know that they deal a lot with ice hockey guys.
Yeah.
Might be worth you reaching out to some of them, because if you could probably find them on Facebook. I mean, it's a non-competitive product.
Yeah.
So I think they would like this. You know, some of their distributors might take up Immunical to complement what they've got, because they don't have a consumable. The problem that I mean, I did some consultancy work for them about 2 years ago.
Okay.
When they came to the UK, and the problem they had in the UK is that they had a lot of people buy in quickly, but then because it's not consumable, the product's actually too good, right?
Yeah.
I had about half a dozen pairs of their socks. That's it.
Yeah.
And the quality of the product is so good, people that last forever, so they don't reorder. There's nothing consumable.
She gave me a pair of socks, actually.
Yeah, and they're good. I've got insoles in my trainers right now as I'm talking to you.
Okay.
And they help with your stability. But the point being, I think, you know, they would be good targets at networkers that have already got organizations.
Yeah.
And can maybe put the product, you know, our product through their network.
I got so much going on.
Well, that's a good thing, Tom. Come on.
Yeah. The other thing that again that's really sensitive in Canada is the retirement homes. And when it comes to retirement homes, there was a home in Barrie that out of everybody had the COVID.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, and not the staff along with the
Really?
residents, and there was like 160 people in the one home alone.
Wow.
I've got a friend that works in retirement, and I put this together again when it comes to retirement health, and it's geared up to both staff and residents. The idea being that I would like to see, and the goal is to see a retirement home offer the Immunical products as part of their
Sure.
quality life services.
Yeah.
And the labeling, the branding is living to the max. So I've got that I'm working on, and she has a copy of this and is going through it just to see how it appeals. But I've got contacts in the retirement home. And the other thing, because of COVID,
There you go.
workplace health key
Yeah.
is another area that, just based on my work and my contacts, again, when it comes to corporations, I've put that together to see how and where that goes. The vision would be a General Motors and just putting together a program that all their employees are on it, or all their employees that want to be on.
Well, it's corporate responsibility. It's a tricky one, and I would say to you, although it's very worthwhile trying, it's not usually working very well for network marketing companies.
No, and I've tried to understand, again, based on my background, try to understand why we just go to single individuals. I like, in my case, I like the group approach. Certainly one person that will open up 4,000 people to one person that will open up 1,500. And you probably have to talk to those 1,500. But the idea is working that way. Purely in my case, I like that idea because I need to grow quickly. I've got like 5 years to do it, right?
Yeah,
so,
I do believe that you're on your focus right now. And my advice would be to put your focus on the sports thing, because you've got the personal story.
Yep.
You've been on TV. You've done that fantastic ride, right? You've got the Queen's Medal, right? So you're very credible. You've got great marketing skills. Clearly, that's obvious. What we need to do is focus your approach, out of all the things you've shown me, on building your mission related to your homeless project, but using the product as a catalyst, and the stories these individuals have, like the guy I showed you, Mark Colburn, where they've turned adversity into success. Sports people have that great story, and it's very inspirational to individuals who want to get involved in network marketing and want to better themselves, their health, their also their personal development. You understand?
Right.
So I think that's where we're going to have to leave it this evening, Tom. We've hit our time limit, but this has been a very, very interesting conversation.
And that's always been part of my issue, is I have so much. Where do I focus?
I can see that. I can see that. So we're gonna let me work with you to focus that. And Jeffrey, if you'd be kind enough to share anything you've got with me that some of the presentation you mentioned earlier, I wasn't aware of that one. So if you'd be kind enough to share that with me.
I'll send you the John Molson presentation, the athletic one. You can take a look at it.
We'll do that.
Yeah, sorry, Jeffrey, for occupying the time.
No, it's been great.
It's been great, Tom. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and just, I don't know if you were on, just the connection in terms of London. My uncle paddled in an Olympics in London. 65 years later, my cousin won a bronze medal in paddling in London, 2012 Olympics. So for some reason, I've got that attachment. And then my dad's mother and father came from London area. So I keep looking, hey, I'll reach back to my roots and go from
And don't
there.
forget, we've got that meeting at London Heathrow on the 12th of June, eh?
Yeah.
I hope you're coming, Jeffrey.
Is that going to be in Spanish first?
No.
Okay, so it's all English.
Yeah, why? Have you got Spanish people coming?
No, I had, I was under the impression that there was going to be a Spanish section to it. That's all.
No.
Nope. Great, it's all brilliant. It's the same place as before.
Yeah, it's exact same room.
All right, rock and roll. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll see if I can put it in my calendar because right at the moment,
Good.
everything is.
Yeah, you're up in the air, I know. Well, if you can, be lovely to see you.
That'd be really cool. All right,
Tom, thanks once again.
Tom.
Appreciate it.
Take it. I'll send you
Ron,
the information.
Ron is on the call, our silent hero there, but I hope you've enjoyed it, Ron. We're going to put this up on the XYZ tools. It'll be posted up there for everybody to see it in the next day or two.
And
if you want a copy of it, let me know. I'll send you a copy of the recording.
okay, and tomorrow night we're on again.
We are. I've got you in my diary at 7 o'clock, sir.
Yeah.
Great. Good to see you. Thanks once again.
Thanks, guys.
We should have 4 or 5 people on that call as well.
Brilliant. Looking forward to
Okay.
it.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good night. Take care.
A lot of work involved.
See you.